Top of the third inning about to get underway. And folks, Nick Landi here. We have a special guest joining us today for the top of the third inning. It's Keene State pitcher Brendan Muhs. Brendan, thanks for stopping by the press box. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Thank you. I just wanted to say happy birthday to my mom. It's her birthday today, so I just wanted to shout out Nancy Muhs. Love you, Mom.
Fantastic. We'll get the birthday wish right out of the way. Fantastic. We hope you are enjoying the game, Miss Muhs. And it's a pretty good start with Keene State already getting up 1-0.
Yeah. Defense looks good. Offense is looking good. Pitching is looking good all around. So if we can hold them down, Phil stays pitching the way he is, should be a good game.
Pretty busy couple of days here so far. We had to leave Keene State very early yesterday morning to get here in time, as it is a 2-0 count here, and now a 3-0 count. Long day. We still had to come up with practice for a few hours yesterday. So ultimately, how impressed are you to see your teammates showing up with this quick start so far?
It's great to see. I mean, talking to a bunch of teammates, I know a bunch of them went to bed at like 7 o'clock, which great. Like, that's what we need. We need to get to bed early, get up early so we're ready to play.
Yeah, first of 8 games for Keene State. And for you personally, how much enjoyment do you get when you have the opportunity to come to a unique environment like this and play at a venue that not many other teams get the opportunity to come travel and play at?
I mean, it's great. Like you just said, not everyone gets to come here. The fields here are beautiful. The turf is great. We're right on the beach, too, so, I mean, it really doesn't get any better.
Hotel right on the beach. I couldn't stop looking outside of my hotel window yesterday. Very nice environment. Hopefully the rain clears up a little bit and we actually get some nicer weather later this week.
I think the rest of the week it's supposed to be a lot nicer. I think this is really the only day where it's supposed to get a little bit of rain, but
it's a 2-1 count now on the Owls, and it's now a 3-1 count as well. So, Brendan, obviously you're entering your senior season here with it just getting underway. And obviously it's senior year. As that line shot to right center, will this get down? It will be caught instead by the right fielder. And just like that, we have 2 outs. So, Brendan, senior year is a big year that everyone looks forward to as an athlete. What are you ultimately looking for to accomplish on the mound in this year for Keene State?
I want to have a winning record. Not only for me, but as a team. Like, even in games I'm not pitching, if I can help other pitchers out, depending on pitch grips, pitch sequences, anything like that, I'm happy to help. I just want our pitchers to do well, so just winning.
Just winning, absolutely. I know the team is looking to have a big step forward under Justin Blood, who's entering his second year in the dugout as the head coach for Keene State. So we got an 0-2 count here. With the new the new rules in general, especially with the game clock going on, how are you looking forward to handling that this season?
It's a little bit of an adjustment. I'm still getting used to it, but we've been doing stuff in practices before we started the season to get us adjusted to the pitch clock, and basically so we know that it's coming and we don't get a ball called for 20 seconds. So we've been doing stuff like, instead of shakes, easier ways to call a pitch without the other team knowing, and just keep a good tempo.
Brendan Muhs, pitcher for Keene State, joining us for a few more minutes here. And as a baseball fan yourself, have you personally found the game to now be a little more exciting now, seeing guys having to be more cognizant of that clock and having to be able to make sure they're getting all of their signals, all of their communication done in time and still being able to execute?
A little bit of a mixed bag for me. As a pitcher, I kind of like to take my time. I was always one that I have a couple different pitches, so I tend to shake off a lot. I tend to take my time in between pitches, but I think keeping a good tempo, once you get used to it, it can really mess up the batter, because they're not trying to get in the box and see pitch after pitch after pitch. They usually like to get out, take their time, take a little break, get back in. So once I get used to it, I think it'll work to my advantage.
So you still find yourself ultimately getting adjusted to that.
A little bit.
It's still a work in progress.
I haven't like been called for the pitch clock yet, but it's just something that's in the back of my head, whereas before it wasn't. So.
Before we let you go, we do have to mention, as the bottom of the third gets started with Phil Nichols back on the mound for Keene State, we do got to mention we had both you and Nathaniel Hudson in our Keene State studio a few weeks ago for a fun segment of Get to Know. For those who don't know, it's a fun segment where we bring in a couple student athletes to try to answer some different questions that have multiple answers and see if they can get as many correct answers as possible. I'm not going to spoil what happened with you and Nate, though I will say that video is in the pipeline as that pitch is hit right off the mound to the second baseman Barnes, and he readjusts to make a nice play there for the first out. We have one out in the bottom of the third. I won't spoil what happened with you and Nate, but I will say the video's in the pipeline. But now that you've had some time to reflect back on that, are you happy ultimately with how that performance turned out? Do you feel like you wish you guys had maybe another shot at it to get maybe a few more answers there? How do you think that ultimately turned out for the two of you?
I thought it went pretty well. I think that Nate would have wanted another try, especially when we had I won't spoil it, but we had questions on World Series MVPs. Nate couldn't get Red Sox one. He's a Red Sox fan, so he's probably pulling his hair because of that. But
right, and it's a lot of sports questions, but it's even some different questions as well, non-sports related. And I know there was an entertainment question that definitely somewhat stumped you guys a little bit. Have you? I will say it has to do with a little bit with streaming. Have you found yourself doing a little more watching on the streaming platforms since your appearance in the studio?
I would say so. Yeah, I've been watching the basketball games and whatnot at my house. I'm doing homework or just hanging out. So, yeah, I would say so.
So that pitch is fouled off with one out in the bottom of the third. Keene State up 1-0. So you mentioned Nate's a Red Sox fan. Who is your baseball team?
I'm a Yankees fan.
So how do you find, obviously you playing in New England, I'm sure you deal with plenty of
I get grief all the time.
Fans, as that pitch is a strikeout and a throw to first in time. So you're a Yankees fan in Red Sox Nation, and Nate is obviously one of many Red Sox fans that you've had to deal with on a team. How do you coexist with Red Sox fans on a baseball team?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're on the same team. We're brothers, so we got to get along. It's always just a joke when we talk about stuff like that. And I'm not the only one. Dean's a Yankees fan. Floyd's a Yankees fan. Emmett's a Yankees fan. And Marty, I believe Marty Testo.
Marty Testo is a big Yankees fan.
Yeah,
we
so
see him.
I'm not the only one.
Yes, many Yankees fans here at Keene State, and Marty Testo is here with the club in the dugout, helping the team out. Ultimately, what do you think? How do you think the Yankees will do this year? They've had several really good seasons, but have struggled. They have struggled in the playoffs the last few years. They've decided to hang on to Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Are you ultimately hopeful that the team will get back to winning championships with those two, or do you think they will have to eventually make changes in those positions?
So last year, I think the team was deep enough to actually win a World Series, but they just got riddled with injuries during the playoffs. The bullpen, DJ LeMahieu, there's a couple big bats out of the lineup and big arms that they needed. But right now, I know a bunch of people. Harrison Bader went down. Carlos Rodon went down with an injury. So I'm hoping this year they get their injuries out of the way, and then when it comes time for October, they're all healthy and they can get past it. But I think they can win one with the group they have, because the Astros are getting a little bit worse. They lost Verlander. I think it's definitely possible to see a World Series championship for the Yankees with Cashman.
Do you think Aaron Judge breaks his home run record?
I don't know. I think he could, but at the same time, I don't know if anyone's ever going to have a season like that for a long time.
Was there any point you thought that he would not come back to the Yankees after last season?
Yeah, when John Heyman said Arson Judge was on the Giants.
Arson Judge going to the Giants. That must have, I'm sure, terrified you and every other Yankee fan as that pitch.
Our
is
pitcher
in
on the
dirt.
mound, Phil, he FaceTimed me, and I was doing homework one night, and answered the phone. He started singing, "Start spreading the news." He's like, he's going to San Francisco, and I was a little worried. I told him, I don't know, I haven't seen anything yet. I gotta see it to believe it. And then, luckily enough, next morning I woke up to a really nice notification that the Yankees re-signed him. So.
Cam Gilroy up to bat for Framingham State, takes ball 1 right there as Framingham now having a runner on first after Ryan Boyle was hit by a pitch there. And now that shot is over the head of Santos for a single, so Framingham State getting a rally going with 2 outs here. Runners on first and second after that single by Gilroy. Brendan Muhs still with us for a few more minutes here in the press box. So, staying on the Yankees, I think another thing because again, I'm from Illinois person. I'm a White Sox fan, but I have family in Connecticut, and I hear about the Yankees all the time. And ongoing debate between Yankees fans is whether or not the team should kind of go back to its ways of just being the ultimate spender and spending as much money as possible on star players, or if they should be putting more on. And we'll actually leave it right there as that's popped up. Stays in play for the final out. Brendan, we'll continue this conversation another time, but thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the mound this season.
All right, thank you.
We'll head to the 4th. It's a 1-0 Keene State lead over Framingham State.